Welcome back to Bold Assumptions Article Roundup. This week we're going to be talking about space news. The first article we have is from Science Daily, and it's titled Gas Insulation Could Be Protecting Pluto's Water. The gist of the article is basically that there's a layer of gas on Pluto that is protecting its ocean from freezing, which is actually really great news, being that Pluto's probably the farthest planet away from the sun, meaning that everything on it should be frozen. Now, the article also makes sure to note that it's talking about an ocean in the inside of Pluto, not on the surface. The surface of Pluto still is frozen. Later on in the article, it notes that with the hydrate layer of chemicals that Pluto has beneath its icy surface, it should take around 1 billion years for the ocean beneath to fully freeze. Now, without it, through the simulations they ran, it takes about 1 million years. So this could expand your lifetime by having these hydrate layers by huge amount. Something relevant to note is that they think it's methane that is trapping the heat in and keeping the ocean from freezing underneath Pluto. And obviously this can relate to us today and how all the methane in our atmosphere people believe is creating the greenhouse effect and trapping heat in here. So you can see, for a huge example, how that can be implicated to a planet, thousands of light years away from us, which should technically be frozen, but it's not, and it's because of methane. So how do you think that impacts us, a planet, much closer to the sun? Another takeaway I get from this is that maybe methane could be used for more implications than we are today. Maybe, it has much more insulating capabilities. I haven't really heard of much methane insulation systems, but I bet you, seeing firsthand how it works on Pluto, maybe it would be worthwhile to try it out. Moving forward, the fact that there's a liquid ocean on Pluto, that actually could be very, important for people who are out there trying to find life on other planets. Because if you think about life on Earth, it's originated, in the water. So, everyone's out there looking for these different aliens and all these different organisms, just on the surface of Mars, stuff like that. But the real place to look would be the ocean because, depending on where they are in the time scale of evolution, many of the life could and should be in the ocean. So, which is good because I do know that there are, planned missions, I'm pretty sure in NASA's lifespan, many years down the road, where they plan to send, submarines and stuff to different moons on Neptune and stuff like that. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing. And, just going off of that, it's very important that I think we start looking at the oceans of these other planets rather than just strictly, the terrestrial rocky parts of the planets. Not to mention hundreds of thousands of years from now, if not, millions of years from now, depending on where humans are, if we want to eventually start branching out further than our solar system, that could make a very great pit stop on Pluto, because obviously humans need water and the components of water to survive. You could break down water into hydrogen and oxygen, breathe in the oxygen, and use the hydrogen for fuel. It could be, like a cosmic gas station in a way if we, give it time. So it's really great to know that there's liquid water on Pluto. And obviously it's really important to mention that they don't have concrete, physical evidence that there's water on Pluto. They've ran simulations and they just believe that, based on the different factors and stuff, there should be liquid water beneath the surface. Somewhat in the same relation as this article, Science Daily has another article titled Formation of the Moon Brought Water to Earth. And, essentially it is what it says. What the article is trying to say is that basically, there was a collision some billions of years ago that made the moon, when some giant asteroid, I believe, hit the Earth, broke off a little part of the Earth and made the moon. And, based off, theory of today, most people believe that water made it to Earth through different, successions of asteroids and stuff. And what these scientists believe in Germany is that this giant asteroid that created the moon is what brought the water to Earth. It was full of water and all these different things that we needed to create an ocean. Scientists were able to link the formation of the moon with bringing water to Earth by looking at the different chemical composition of the asteroid which created the moon and the Earth. And basically, in order to have liquid water, there's a special, polycarbonate carbon thing that needs to be present. And the same amount of that, carbon structure is on the asteroid which created that and the Earth. So basically, they bridge this comparison that without this collision ever happening, the Earth would have never had the correct features to support water, and in that case support life. And this article brings up a really important thing to note, the fact that how dependent the Earth really is on the moon. They're talking about how, the moon is what keeps the Earth's orbit and rotation mostly, stable. And without that, we would, us humans not be able to be here. So it's kind of driving the fact that the moon is very, very important in life itself. So possibly when we're looking to see other planets that could potentially have life, maybe, having a sustainable, decent sized moon could be an important factor, which could help narrow down the search. I don't know if that's already how they look for planets, but that just seems like a logical way to narrow down the search in my opinion. A cool fact this kind of brings up is the fact that, possibly this evidence could support the seeding theory, which is what I kind of believe brought life to Earth, in the fact that, there could have been microorganisms, tiny different things that the Earth needed on asteroids, which crashed into the Earth and, essentially seeded the Earth. Obviously, through this, it's kind of apparent that water came from an asteroid which seeded the Earth. There's not too much, it's not too far out of the realm to think that possibly life came the same way. And there's just a bombardment of asteroids over, millions and billions of years, which ended up creating life. Obviously, the seeding theory is a theory for a reason. It hasn't been fully proven yet, but I feel like this article, does a great deal of, inching closer to the realization that it could be fact or fiction. That's the great thing about, scientific advancement. We're able to prove theories that, you don't even realize you're trying to prove. Anyways, that's all for this week on Bold Assumptions Article Roundup.